Hello, welcome to episode 1 commentary for Dice Versa. I'm joined here by the boys. Hey, boys.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
And we're going to be chatting a little bit over episode 1 of Vast Welcome. But yeah, does anybody want to say anything before we get into the episode?
We love you guys. Thank you for supporting us.
Yes, definitely. We love you guys and thank you for supporting us. If you are listening to this, you are a Patreon backer, which means that you are super duper helping us out, keeping this production going. So thank you for all of your support. And we hope that you like this commentary and the bonus content that we're going to be putting out. So I guess without further ado, let's just get into it. So the way that this is going to work is we will give you a countdown, a 3-second countdown, 3, 2, 1, go. And when we say go, you can hit play on your video and you should be more or less synced up with where we are in the video for the commentary. Hopefully it works. I don't see why it shouldn't, but I guess we'll find out.
Let's get it on.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Go.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
No.
Wait, pause.
Wait.
I need to pee. Who's got popcorn?
All right. Yeah, it's going to be a little weird for me to talk over myself talking, but that's fine. It's actually very disorienting to hear my own voice as I'm trying to talk. But that's okay.
As you're speaking, hearing yourself, and then you end up like, wait, I didn't. Huh?
That's okay though. We'll figure it out. It should be okay. But yeah, I think we should just start off by talking about like how we decided that we wanted to do this. As far as I remember, we were just taking one of our little walks during work when we were all working together, and Chris and all three of you, actually, you guys are all big Critical Role fans, and at the time I was getting really into the Adventure Zone, and I feel like we just wanted to do something like that because we were big D&D players.
We're a bunch of big old nerd boys.
Yeah, I remember you saying like one day just like how you really liked Critical Role, but you didn't like basically like the live like watch people argue over rules, and you liked how kind of like streamlined and clean Adventure Zone was, but Adventure Zone is very rules light.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
What do you want to do? Yeah, screw it. Yeah, go ahead.
It works.
Roll a D10 this time, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, no, I definitely felt like there was a gap, like a void there that I wanted to fill, I guess, because, like you were saying, like Critical Role didn't do exactly what I wanted. There's a lot of downtime, and Adventure Zone also didn't do what I wanted. They had like really good storytelling and everything, but like you said, rules light, and the presentation of it wasn't as polished, I guess. So I wanted to do something that used Roll20 and had a tabletop and like showed off what you were doing, and then sort of naturally what came out of that was what we have here, showing like images and key art from the actual game system and stuff, and that sort of all just happened naturally as I was putting these things together.
I really like it. I personally enjoy like almost like graphic novel style in a sense.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's how I was describing this to like some of my friends. They were like, "Oh, what the hell is it?" Because I was like sending out invites to our Facebook page, and I was like, "Hey, dude, why are you sending me shit?" What is Dice Versa? I'm like, "Hey, man, it's a fun show we're trying to do, and it's kind of like a visual novel, but with us nerds in it."
Visual novel. I was like, graphic novel is pretty much a comic. Wait.
Yeah. When I was doing like the blocking for like the character art that you did, Tony, which is phenomenal, by the way.
Thank you.
But when I was like placing them and blocking them into the different scenes and everything, I was like, this kind of reminds me of like sort of, like the cutscenes from like JRPGs or like visual novels, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, we could have like little like portraits show up as you guys are talking, and then we ended up doing that as well, as we'll see later on in the episode.
So good. I really enjoy it.
Guys, the
That
movie
place is
started.
pretty. Let's go there.
What's that?
So that place is pretty. Let's go there.
Yeah, that was just some art of the drift that I found.
The Sundering Eclipse.
And there's the Sundering Eclipse, which
It was supposed to be the Sundering Eclipse.
it's supposed to be the Sundering Eclipse. That's right. But I wrote the name down wrong, and I said it wrong like 6 times in a row, so we had to stick with it.
And then I forgot too. So
I never do that. That's great.
Hey, it's me.
Hey, there's Navessa. Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about why you wanted to play Navessa? Like, you talk about your inspiration for her being sort of Sherlock, yeah, and that you wanted to have a human amongst the weird aliens, but was there anything else that like played into Navessa's creation?
I mean, in general,
you didn't let him play a goblin.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't let me play a goblin because they're evil. But beyond that, like, I typically just enjoy playing support classes more than anything else. Like, I'm a big bard player when it comes to like D&D, and so whenever I look at anything in Starfinder, the envoy is always the one that kind of piques my interest, even though I feel like it's like the least kind of like flashy comparatively to some of the other classes, at least at a glance. Mm-hmm. They just have a lot of like low-key support for the party. Like just everyone just gets a static +1, which on paper looks pretty weak, but like you're effectively like raising the character level by 1.
It has definitely mattered.
Yeah.
More than once, where it's like, oh, I didn't have. Wait, I did.
Yeah, definitely. Envoys are an interesting class. They are sort of like the bard of Starfinder. They're meant to be like the face character, and their abilities are like you said, very supportive and not really flashy.
Mm-hmm. And I just really liked how
at least not yet
low key they are comparatively to everything else, which like it almost it's kind of like in the same vein of like me wanting to play a human when there's all these weird aliens able to choose from. It's like I feel like picking an envoy kind of like goes in that same route. It's just like I could be, someone who's a trained soldier or someone who bends gravity to their will, or I could be someone who talks good.
Yeah.
What's your magical skill? Words.
Just stare at him.
And have you seen this face?
I do like the fact that she comes from Castrovel and was like raised by the Lashunta to give her a little bit of that extra space flavor of Starfinder, but otherwise she's a pretty normal human.
Because I think another inspiration that I only kind of quasi-realized that I think just existed in the back of my mind, which is really how like Get 'em and everything works for me, is I forget the name of the character, but Neil Patrick Harris's character from Starship Troopers.
Okay.
How he has like this little ferret that he's just like, I psychically implanted in my mind that there's a bug on my mom or something like that. Oh, hey, look who it is. I should stop talking, and now Eric should.
Yeah, there's Uko. Eric, I'm actually really interested. Like, was there a reason why you wanted to be this large character?
He's large.
So it's just because he's big. Okay.
Okay, all right, look, you have your crazy alien things, and then you got humans, and then dragons. And I was like, I'll go with the fantasy thing, thanks. He's also, 10 feet tall, has wings, buff AF,
Yeah, but I mean, there's also like a bunch of other aliens in Starfinder.
Yeah, but are they 10 feet tall with dragon wings and like spit fire?
I suppose that's true.
Yeah, and I just it called to me. I really was looking through, and I had something planned, and then I remember you were like, "Oh yeah, we also got this book too." Look through these, and I looked through and saw Dragonkin, and I was like, "Ah!"
Yep.
The stars are aligning.
Yeah, and I guess a little bit of a sentimental connection is like the first time I ever played D&D, I made a Dragonborn fighter.
Oh, okay.
God,
So it's
I don't
like a
even
throwback.
remember his name. Yeah, I don't even remember his name right now, which is a shame because he was amazing. But I loved him, and I like the idea of the soldier fighter type, because aside from, oh look, there's the thing, kill the thing. It also, as a player, I can kind of run with the excuse of like, oh, we can't get in here, break down door. Like that was entirely that Dragonborn character was. Oh, what do we do here? Everyone's trying to figure something out, and he was just like, well, I'm gonna attack it. And half the time, because of his muscles, it just always works.
It just works, yeah. It's your fail-safe.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, we're in.
I do love just how fucking huge Uko is.
Yes, I mean,
Every time I just see his art next to all the other characters, it's just like he's so big.
He's so big. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
And he
love
has a tail that he's not supposed to have.
Whoops.
That's another
like
thing.
that.
That was like, I was reading through the book and I saw that Dragonkins, it says that they don't have tails, but we had already canonized that Uko does have a tail. And I was like, well, guess he has a tail now.
Yeah,
But in all the art, they have tails.
I don't think they do.
I'm pretty sure they do, because that's what I mostly based
God.
Uko's design on. I just
we'll
looked
have
at a
to
bunch of
look it up.
Dragonkin art.
But
See, look at that.
look at little Navessa next to big
And
old
that's
Uko.
him with his bent legs, too.
He's not even standing upright.
I love it. It just makes me so happy. Everyone has to look up at him.
I used, because obviously Mishka, since it's my character, he was the first concept art I did. And so when I was working on Uko, I made sure to have an appropriate scaled version of Mishka next to him as I was drawing Uko to make sure I get the scale right.
That is good art. Oh, Cooper!
Here's Cooper. So Cooper was a combination of Tony and I both coming up with Tony coming up with the backstory of Mishka getting this ship, and then me coming up with the history of the ship. And so that's where Cooper came from. And Cooper and the Sundering Eclipse they both have a full backstory written. I know where the ship has been and how it got into Mishka's hands and all of that stuff. But hopefully we'll eventually get to explore that a little bit more.
I loved drawing Cooper. That was a fun art to do.
Yeah, he's
that
awesome.
Voice, just that caught me so off guard when you did Cooper's voice.
I was super looking forward to that. I was just because me and Nick and I were talking about it, and then so I was like, we were talking about, I was like, oh, the ship has an AI. It's like, what should it be? It's like, I kind of want it to be a pirate.
It's like, what if he's just
Nick
like a
does
straight up
a
old
great
style
cartoon
pilot?
pirate voice.
Yeah, it's like,
I was like, what? We're in space in a ship.
Specifically did not mention to you guys about Cooper until we started playing on purpose.
I love
Mishka,
it.
good boy.
There he is.
Yep, and here's
the
our
boy.
good boy. So we got a pretty good backstory on Mishka in the episode.
I got too excited and I was like, here's all this bullshit about Mishka.
Here you go. Here's who he is. You didn't mention that he's Spanish/Transylvanian.
You also don't mention his class at all.
Like, ever.
I said he's a scout. That's kind of
You say that he's a survivalist, and that's the closest we get to you saying the word
That is
operative.
class adjacent, I guess.
But and then and that is in the
He's a good boy.
there was a good 20 minutes of your backstory from Mishka that had to get cut out just because it was just too much backstory to dump on to new viewers right away. But yeah,
but we love him. He's so great, and I love just how efficient Mishka is. I mean, he maybe not all the time look it or so, but he really is like on top of it. He really is kind of like the de facto leader in a sense. Aside from,
I actually feel kind of bad about that because I think when we were making characters that we were kind of in agreement that it would be Neves, so that would kind of be the face of the party. And I just kind of accidentally just put Mishka in the front too much sometimes.
Well, I think that's the thing is that we have Mishka as the captain because his ship and he's contracted to take us, what have you.
I'm honestly not trying to be that with him.
Oh no, don't even.
I'm more in my mind I'm just imagining him being just really eager to help people.
Yeah,
and
he just wants to help.
Yeah. Because that was the reason why I chose the Vlaka. Because when I was reading about what alien to be, because I originally wanted to be a different character, but that character was level 7, and we're starting at level 1, so I didn't want to start that character over from level 1 again. I was just maybe later on I'll play that other character. But yeah, so I was reading the classes and I was reading the Vlaka, and it's they're really helpful. They're good mediators. And just reading the basic info, I was they just sound like good boys. They sound like good doggo boys.
Just good doggos.
Yeah, they're just good doggo boys. I'm gonna play that.
Yeah, I mean, he is really helpful, and I think that's why it kind of fits, at least lore-wise, what have you, in the game. That he's very, he really is the captain of the team too, aside from just the ship. Now, granted, when it comes to we need to convince people to do stuff, we both, you and I, do our best. However, the person that usually pulls it off is Nevessa. We're come up and you're hello, I want to help, hey, and I'm grrr, and then she's what they're trying to say.
Yeah, Nevessa is definitely the most on task, I feel.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Yo,
the excited dog.
Yeah, Mishka has the attention span of a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Uko really is just all right, what are we hitting? Are you guys alive? Because that's how I get paid. So.
And Nevessa's anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on. That's not what we're here for, guys. Keep your priorities straight.
Yeah.
Also, on another note, for us all knowing Sedona, I assume that's a picture of her in the key art on the right there.
Yep.
When this episode went live and me watching it was the first time I actually saw a picture of Sedona.
Same. I was oh. Yeah, Uko's definitely helping her.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that's gotten cut out a little bit just for story purposes. Is Uko? You keep playing Uko as this horn dog who just wants to get with everybody.
He's not a horn dog. He's
a horned dragon.
Flirty. He's looking for thank you. He is a horned dragon. Thank you. No, he's just okay. Maybe that is a little bit of me just having fun, but I do believe that he is
thirsty.
Very much. Yeah, I guess you could say thirsty. I feel like he's the guy that's imagine Johnny Bravo in the sense of hey, pretty mama. And it's trying to convince the ladies. Usually doesn't work because he's a 10-foot tall dragon.
We're gonna need a alternate art of Uko wearing a black t-shirt and really tight jeans, please.
Yes.
And a pompadour.
Get on it.
Pompadour, sunglasses.
Yeah, but he'll flirt and everything. But the moment a girl would be all right, he'd be wait. Actually, I gotta go. But,
I didn't think we'd get this far.
Yeah, I didn't have a contingency plan. Oh.
Just goes into a complete flop sweat as soon as any sort of interest is shown to him.
It's Dragonkin. I love dragons. Squish.
Look at that big boy.
bridge, okay?
You can fit on the bridge, okay?
Barely, but you fit. You fit.
I just love how like Uko's biceps are bigger than Mishka's head.
Yes.
See? You see why I wanted to be a dragonkin? Just they're swole. They are funk.
I did really enjoy working on the concepts for the characters, like the art and stuff like that. I made very conscious decisions for like every detail.
Oh yeah. And I remember, I mean, not art wise, but like when I was thinking of, well, I guess art wise, like how he looked and stuff. Mm-hmm. I had a different idea. We were trying to see if there was a way to like, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. Can the dragon shoot anything else aside from fire? Can I shoot lightning, acid, or whatever? And I had this whole idea going in mind with every aspect, even his name to an extent.
Uko looks weird in this picture.
That's not Uko.
Wait a minute.
Sorry, go ahead.
Uko has 4 arms and is tiny. Oh, that other big guy. I thought I'd be able to find like, let's make him shoot lightning and stuff. And Nick and I tried to figure that out. But we kind of realized like, you'd either, if we try to like match that huge cone of flame you can shoot to rather than a length rather than cone.
Right. Yeah, we were looking at like
across the planet.
We were looking
like
at
hardly any damage.
We were looking at the rules for, I believe it was the Dragonborn from D&D and how they have the different breath weapons, and we were seeing if we could come up with something that would still be balanced and sort of draw inspiration from that. But in the end, we just decided that.
Yeah, we're like, screw it, stick with a giant thing of fire. That's fine.
And it's proved to be useful more than once. So
that's true. I mean, just like here's a little bit of damage on all these guys, or what? I think did I kill a monkey with it? I don't remember.
Yes, in episode 2, which we will get to, you annihilate 2 monkeys in a single breath with it. So
strong.
And here we have the actual beginning of the adventure. The intros of you guys are all done, and now this is where the adventure actually starts. I'm actually really happy with how this sequence all ended up with you guys leaving the drift.
Yeah. I remember. Didn't I comment? Oh, I want to hear Cooper.
I love his eye patch.
It just, I half the time I couldn't tell, like, wait, where's his eyes? Like, I look at his picture and I'm like, what is he?
He's a Sheeran.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's a bug person. The Sheerans are a race in Starfinder. He just happens to be a pirate version.
Oh,
yeah. I remember we talked about that. I was like, should I make him a specific type of alien or something? You're like, make him a Sheeran. I was like, okay.
I was like, a Sheeran would be so funny.
Yeah.
Having this voice coming out of him. And a beard and an eye patch.
He's got a mustache.
God, I love it. And here's where we're getting the little... We're getting our little things pop up, our talk bubbles, if you will. I love how you did that with like the static over them too.
Yeah, the little comm units.
Yeah, so good.
Also, I like low-key love just the sound effect for us leaving the drift, where it's just the...
Yeah!
The pop. Yeah, it's coming up here in a second. And you feel a
brace.
Violent vibration, and your stomachs all collectively jump into your throats. And then a moment later, you hear a loud... There it is.
That we all got quiet just so we could hear
Yeah,
we have been quiet for like anything along this whole wave. So like, you're like, stop for the pop.
Gotta get that pop.
It makes me think of Hitchhiker's Guide, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, in the Starfinder book, thank you. Yeah, that transition is pretty cool. In the Starfinder book, it does list Hitchhiker's Guide as an inspiration for for potential GMs who want inspiration. They say check out Hitchhiker's Guide. So
that's so
fits.
Cool. Yeah, it's just like it's all intense, like Star Wars. And then
Yeah, the lore for how you guys leave the drift is you're literally like ripping through from one plane, from the drift plane into the material plane. So I was just like, what's that going to look like? And what does that sound like? I think it'd be fun if it was just a little pop noise.
Ooh, the space battle. Oh, this was so much fun.
Man,
even though I did awful.
This is actually
like 2 hours long.
Yeah, this fight was there's a lot of stuff that got edited out of this because a lot of rules looking up, a lot of remembering all of the different roles and everything that everybody can do each turn. Not to mention that just the structure of ship combat is very different than your normal tabletop RPG combat. So it was definitely a learning curve. And we did all of those edits before we decided that we were going to have like the bonus content, including the deleted scenes and all of that. So we don't have deleted scenes for episode 1 and 2, but we do have the original recordings. So potentially, if we find time, we could go back and pull some out, but that would be very time intensive. And I don't know how worth it would be, because I think a lot of it is just us being like, okay, so what can I do?
Your computer's just it kind of was for a while.
Yeah, we're just like, how do ship?
And then fucking the best one, like, okay, I'm at this one. Okay, I'm doing that. Okay, I'm over here.
Yep, the musical chairs.
We could just release an unedited episode. It's, like 3 hours long.
God, that would be. I would not do that to our audience.
It's like half the enjoyment, double the time wasting. Like his head hardly fits.
Yes, I specifically made Uko's face too big to fit in the comment.
I just imagine he holds it too close.
So this is actually a recreation of the starship combat from this episode. The original recording, I recorded it at a much lower resolution, which ended up looking real bad. Actually, the chat is still from the original recording because I wanted to keep that stuff authentic. But yeah, also it would be crazy for me to like try to re-roll all of the rolls the same way you guys did.
Yeah.
That would be literally impossible, I think.
Just have all of our character sheets open.
Yeah, we'll just have to like Photoshop it or, do overlays, and that would just be so much work. So the chat is normal, is the original recording, but the starship map and everything moving around is a redo of it because of the low resolution, and it was also just sort of messy with us, measuring and being bad at using Roll20 early on. And using the high resolution, I get to do cool things like this where I zoom in and pan the map and like actually make it really dynamic and have a lot of movement.
I love it. I remember when I was first watching this, when you showed it to us, I was like, yes. Oh, this makes that long ass fight so much better. It looks so cool. And just like this little dots and whatever, I love it. It gives it a better imagery in my own mind as I'm hearing us talk and what we're doing.
It just makes it so much more engaging to like be able to get in there and pan around and like really give like the feeling of movement to when you guys are doing these crazy maneuvers and stuff.
I backflip and we had to like, which way do I turn?
And there's different pings showing up on the map where you guys are clicking and holding for too long, and there's like different measurement rulers going off on the side, and it was just a whole mess. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna scrap this and I'm just gonna recreate it. And so what I had to end up doing was I would listen and I like wrote down all of the different moves that you guys did in order, went back into Roll20 on my 4K monitor and just like moved the tokens in order based on what the the recording said you guys were doing, and like also looking at the recording and trying to get it as close as possible to the original.
Well, I really appreciate the effort. Like I said, I loved this whole thing and the sound effects you added. I was just having such a ball all by myself watching this thing, like, oh shoot, pew! And it's like, oh, it's my turn. Oh yeah, no, that's what happens. Yeah.
See this one coming at us.
I hope we can get like visual effects editors, because I want lasers on these ships whenever we shoot.
God dang it, I want lasers.
Oh, fucking lasers.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were stuck with just the forward. Oh god, here it is. It's going. It's like you lined us up, or lined me up to shoot, because I could only shoot forward.
Yeah, that's right. That was something that we didn't realize until the fight had already started, where it was like, oh wait, you guys only have a weapon in your forward arc.
Yeah.
You literally have to be pointing at whatever you're shooting at.
Yeah, that was.
That's a good hit.
Oh, I actually hit.
That time
That's
you
right.
hit. Yeah. Later on,
you
missed a few times.
I was like, okay, cool, because I remember looking at my stats and I'm like, all right, as the character, he'd be like, yeah, let's hit, as you can hear. He's like, I want to hit stuff. Let's do this. All right. But then looking at my stats, I was like, oh, buddy, like.
Oh, I'm level 1. That's right.
Yeah. You'd be a lot better, like, standing on the ship, going all Drax or something, you know?
Well, yeah, I remember I think didn't you make your dex your dump stat?
Yeah, I did. My dex is my dump stat.
Because Nick and I've been playing Starfinder for a little while, and I'm just like I remember when I realized you did that, I was like, oh no.
Well, but for the gunner, it's either dexterity or their base attack bonus. And since he's a soldier, his base attack bonus scales with his level, so it shouldn't be too bad. I think that you guys just had some bad luck in the middle of this fight.
Yeah, it's definitely a combination of like being level 1 and just crappy die rolls.
Yeah.
Made our intro to this planet, or literal entry to the planet, rather dramatic. That was fun. I had a great time. I loved how much I kept screwing up. I remember me and Cooper, I think we already started, me and Cooper like yelling at each other during this thing. I'm like, Cooper, help me. He's like,
you're yelling at everybody in this thing.
Yeah, we were all just.
You start your first turn, you yell at Mishka. Like halfway through, you start getting mad at Navessa for distracting you. Like, you guys just having a really bad day.
And then Cooper mouthed off to you.
That's right. There it is. There it is. Yeah. God.
Oh no.
Jesus.
I mean, to be fair though, you guys don't really lose any health in this fight. Like your shields get pinked a little bit, but it's pretty. You guys get through this pretty unscathed. I think this fight is actually supposed to be fairly quick.
We showed them how slow it can go. Yeah, I think we had the appropriate people piloting and playing musical chairs. I guess the more mystical chairs.
Yes, mystical chairs. That's right.
Yeah.
But then you had me with no decks.
I could have been running back and forth between the pilot C and the gunner.
I know, and then
Ugo's gotta go pee. Mid-fight, Ugo runs to the bathroom.
I like how you made that.
There was no way. Like I was like, well, this is in chat now, so I either have to pretend it's not there or call attention to it. So I'm gonna call attention to it.
At least I peed really fast.
You peeled so fast. It's definitely not editing. It's definitely that was real time for sure.
Well,
I ran. I got up, ran to the bathroom, ran back.
I think what you meant to type the first time is I'm peeing, because there's no way that you left and then peed and then came back.
Well, I mean, he said he was gonna pee. He didn't say he was gonna go to the restroom.
That's true.
Yeah,
He just,
guys,
just did
come
it.
on.
He could have just
There
he could've-
was the first of many Nevessa natural ones.
Yep, trying to give Uka his bonus to attack, but
That's right. It was stop distracting. That's what I yelled at you for distracting.
you're like, you're not my mom.
You're not my boss, I think. You're not the boss of me, because that's what Cooper Sass is back.
yeah, it actually worked out really well narratively that, you know, this went so poorly because you guys, your characters don't know each other that well. You've never been in combat with each other. You guys don't have the repertoire.
That was it right there.
That was it.
Yeah, we had like been traveling together for like.
We was traveling together for like 6 days.
Yeah, but you hadn't been in like this situation. You probably were just keeping to yourselves for the most part.
Yeah, in my mind, that's at least what Uka was doing. Really, like I described
Just on our phones.
Yeah, I described him, you know, just trying to like look up the planet and get an idea of the quote unquote mission, which is just make sure these two don't die, honestly.
Just
And
awkwardly passing each other in the halls.
Yeah, he's just very. I'm sure Nevessa was probably being friendly, and Mishka couldn't help but try to be friendly. And Uko's just like, yeah, okay, you guys, you're great. You know, he's not a jerk. It's hard for him to make attachments.
He forms bonds in combat, not being cooped up on a ship.
That's right.
That's right. And
I don't think it would have been interesting to start the adventure like 6 days before.
Best friends.
Oh yeah, could you
"All right,
imagine
you
if
guys-"
we just role played those 6 days? That would have been.
Yeah, you guys meet. It's like, all right.
Hello?
What do you guys
Get
do
on
for
the
6
ship.
days?
Yeah. What do you do today? I wait on the ship.
I look at Instagram.
Mishka yells at Uko for drinking all the milk because he wanted cereal.
I'm a growing boy.
And there we have your guys'
need to
first
pull my
kill of the
bones.
game.
Mishka's dates or something like that. He told me good job. That was it.
Yeah,
You did it,
I guess.
Gunner.
Yeah, that's right. Cooper still doesn't know your name, Uko.
That's right. I'm just Gunner.
We are recording this. We have a good amount in the can already, so you know this is way later, and yeah, Cooper still doesn't know your name.
It's just Gunner.
Gunner.
I mean, you guys can take the time to like tell him your name, but nobody has so far.
I mean,
Why the heck?
at one point later on, I'm pretty sure Nevessa got like properly registered on the
That's
ship.
right. You get like registered into the ship, I think. Yeah.
So
Nevessa,
Mishka is Captain Mishka, and Nevessa's registered now, and Uko's still Gunner.
I'm not. I think I'm just registered as pilot.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think
he's not the captain of the ship.
he owns
Awkward.
he owns a ship, but he doesn't necessarily captain it.
Yeah, it's like Firefly, right? Where I forget the pilot's name.
Well,
Alan Tudyk's character, Wash. Yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
Wash.
I guess he doesn't own the Firefly
doesn't
though.
own it.
But
in
if
that
Wash
show,
owned the
like-
Firefly, that's what
Got
it would be.
it.
Yeah.
So Nevessa's the captain. Okay.
I'm the captain, science officer, engineer.
She's the
And
captain now.
doctor.
Yes, and doctor, and
Psychic.
psychologist, keeping the morale up, just all of it.
We have 2 jobs, me and Mishka, 1 each, and Nevessa just does the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
I like this part where Cooper told us there weren't any life signs, because it was like guilt-free killing a little bit, you know? Like
pretty
there's always
much.
that part of me that kind of plays in my mind of like, you know, is there ever a part of Uko
I
that'd be
just
like,
killed him
oh,
in my head.
I mean, I feel like that's on purpose. I think that, you know, you're not supposed to feel bad about killing these or anything else in the campaign so far.
Yeah, right. It's like you don't need to question if you are actually the good guys.
Yeah, it's pretty black and white this campaign so far, at least. So.
Oh boy, so far. Oh boy. Makes me nervous, boy.
Oh well, and there's I think we're coming up on the end of this fight here. Let's see how much time. We're coming up. We have about 7.5 minutes left.
Just blast right through it. It's so much fun. Making it dead. Yeah, this whole space fight was fun when we played it, and then when I got to watch it, it just made it even better to me. And it honestly just made me all the more excited to like, oh, let's dive in, let's do this, and see what we're up against. Oh boy.
Yeah, originally we wanted to put out episode 1 and 2 at the same time. Because I wanted to show off the ship combat and then also have, the ground combat and the actual what most of Starfinder and most of tabletop games are like, where it's just the characters on the map exploring and fighting and all of that. But for logistical reasons, we decided to split them up a little bit. And I think that it actually works out well to just give it a little break in between. But I mean, both of these commentaries are coming out at the same time. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I just trying to focus.
Yeah, I like the second time you miss. Instead of like missing completely, the ship just like flies in between the lasers. You're just like, God damn it.
Come on.
I love Uko's little chip tooth.
Yeah. I was so happy when I saw him just to have like so much more detail than even I imagined, because I was like, oh yeah, silver and da-da-da, because again I was thinking like lightning or whatever.
Yeah, well, your whole description of Uko, like your intro was, he's big and strong.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. So it's like, okay, missing an eye, I like that. He's got some scars and chipped, all right.
Identifying marker.
And you know what? Screw it. We can just say that he's a mutant.
I remember when I was asking you for details, I was like, hey, what do you want Uko to look like? He's like, he's a big dragon. All right, cool. Anything else? He's silver.
Big dragon.
Did I mention a big dragon?
Did I mention he's big and has scales?
So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to take some creative liberties, bud.
And I was like, you go for it. You do you, baby.
Yeah, I figured since he was like a battle hardened mercenary, I was like, I'll give him some battle scars, scuff up his armor.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And Nevessa being smart here, actually looking stuff over while Uko's like high-fiving himself in the background.
Oh, look at all that rubble.
Well, what made you want to, Chris? What made you want to? That I can talk. I swear.
Take 3.
What was your inspiration for Nevessa's visual style?
Visual style.
Pretty specific vision.
I'm trying to remember like what my particular
just attacking anything.
like I know like when you were asking for like a description for Nevessa, I just like sent you basically like 16 different reference images. Like I was thinking like this for hair, this for face, this for outfit, these for like outfit options, like maybe kind of like combine 2 and 3 for the and sci-fi it up with glowing red light thingies. I don't know. I think like if anything, probably just in like a lot of just having watched a lot of sci-fi or like even like Mass Effect for like just humans in space.
I
glowing lights.
The line that I specifically remember when I was asking you for details, you just said like she looks like someone who at one point had a goth phase and only the calf grew out of it.
I forgot that.
I mean, now that you say that, I can see it. Oh, God, that's such a cool map, too.
Yeah, this is straight out of the campaign.
I really liked the map when you first showed us. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, this actually wasn't in the original version, and then I was like flipping through the campaign book, and I was like, oh wait, this definitely should be in episode 1 when you guys are flying over the thing. And here it is. It's funny because like
It's not pink though.
that's what I was just gonna say. It like the half of the art in the book has the trees as like pink and colorful, and it describes them as such, and then the other half of the art it's green and just verdant, and I'm like, okay, well,
Maybe it's a beautiful mixture. Maybe the lighting makes it look pink.
I feel like maybe like the writers for the campaign and the artists forgot
yeah.
like to communicate.
Oh, wait, we got the memo that they were pink, but you guys didn't? No one told us they were supposed to be pink!
I mean, just throw it in Photoshop and change the hue on it, guys.
No, we're not getting paid to do that!
The buildings, it looks more like a fortress.
And
the other yeah, this is the descent that you guys make.
It's so pretty. It's what I like is how it's like this beautiful forest and lush area, and then it's like, and then you see that shit. You're like, wait, what?
And then you notice that this shit looks bad.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a good time. It's like, man, we should have known with the friggin' drones. God.
Also, the temperature here is not pleasant.
No, this is Nashville in August, just humid, and it's like 80 something and humidity's even higher or some shit. Like you're like, oh God.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't specifically say what the climate is, but I was like, well, it's really foggy and there's monkeys. So monkeys typically like, more tropical environments. I was like, and if it's really foggy, it's going to be humid as hell too. So
I like how this image looks like CG from like the early 2000s and like
you know what, man, I did what I could with what I could find. All of the images had to be licensed and done legally, so we don't get
the right way.
No, for sure. If I was good at actually drawing ship art, I would have drawn some for those
we're
scenes.
so pressed for time in our production as it is that drawing that ship would have been something that we probably could have done, but that's episode
I know those
1.
guys.
We just blasted right through that, and look at all those people.
Yay.
I know 2 of them.
Yeah,
Love
so
you guys. Thank you.
thank you so much, and hope you guys like the commentary for episode 1. We're gonna take a little break and get right into episode 2. But yeah, thank you for supporting us, and we will continue to put out this bonus content for you guys as we are able to.
Later.
All right. We'll see you guys in episode 2. Bye.
Bye, everyone.